Hey, how's it going? Yeah, welcome to my channel, I'm Nicholas. I had a crazy night last night. It wasn't actually crazy, it was strange. And probably you guys can relate with this too. It's like you have all these thoughts racing through your mind. What I should do, where am I going with my life, what's happening to me, why can I succeed? Heartbreak, sorrow, just all these different things. Why they do this to me, why did I do that to them? You know, the mind can be a very complex place. But what I did was I let it be. I said to myself, fuck all these thoughts. It's too much. It's too much. So I stopped thinking. And I was meditating, of course. And it was like the outside looking in. I was viewing my thoughts. And I started asking my thoughts questions. What are you doing? Why are you thinking like that? Stop talking to yourself like that. But as I'm doing that, I'm like observing it. So I'm observing myself talking to myself from like the outside looking in. And then I thought to myself, if I'm observing what's going on here, who the fuck is looking at me? And as much as I wanted to like just observe this ensuing argument with myself about how I should be better or worse, I was observing the shadow of the light. It was very interesting. But there came this point where, just like anything else, you know, Monday comes to Tuesday, Wednesday comes to Thursday, things started to shift. And there was silence. Then all of a sudden I heard screaming. And I'm observing this screaming. It wasn't my house. It was from next door, and they were screaming. They were like, "Oh, you drunk," and blah, blah, blah. They were fighting. And I come from a family of drinkers. And they go outside, and they're looking, and I'm like, "Come on, guys, come back in." And it was already irritating to me because I was drunk. I mean, I wasn't drunk, and everybody was buzzed. My parents were, and the neighbors. It was like, oh my god, all these drunks. So it was like that same racket that I used to have in my head when I was drinking, except I was observing it again from like this 4th or 5th place. But then I'm seeing how people are drawn to that, like moth to a flame. It was really strange. Needless to say, you know, everyone went to bed. No big deal. Cops weren't killed. The guy left. But I woke up this morning after that. And this overwhelming sense of peace was upon me. It was something I couldn't explain. And that thought that place I had to go, that I tried so hard to go all the time, because in meditation you can find that place pretty easily if you do enough meditation. You can have that outward experience. But I never had that sense of peace, and it was God. It was like, fuck, like, what was that? It was like, I didn't do that. And now, I can just, it's weird, like I can just, from saying no to my own thoughts, and being alone for a long period of time, in not a bad way, it's not like I'm lonely, it's just, you get a lot of time to think to yourself and observe these outlandish duels of the mind. But you can like just go so deep. Anyways, what I'm trying to say was today has been such an interesting day because as I view these qualms and like all these things in question that I used to question used to hurt me, because a lot of it's triggering, it'll trigger your emotional body, and you can feel it in your body. But what happens is, like, when you're thinking about these things and it triggers your emotional body, you get stuck in this loop. I said, I'm out of this cycle loop, whatever you want to call it. I'm off this thing. It's like all these choices we have to make all the time. It's like, who's telling us to make these choices? You don't have to make any choices. You can just be at peace. I think that was the most mind-blowing thing to me, was how easy it is just to choose peace and be with the consciousness of everything is good. Because this is not happening to me, the actual me. This is happening to my ego. My ego's inflating all these weird ideas, and it's really preposterous and quite funny, to be honest with you. Because it's like when you decide to pick up a pencil, like your ego or your mind tells you to pick up a pencil, right? My mind told me to do that. But if I step back from that, like my mind told me to make this video, should I have? I don't know. Is my mind guiding my higher self, or my higher self guiding my mind? The duality. But either or, I got to place these things on a metaphorical shelf, right? These qualms, these inner struggles, these pains, these anxiety, depression. And you can objectify them in such a way to where you don't need to take them off the shelf anymore. It's like I choose not to fuck around with that, because you know what? If my ego made that up and if Nick made that up, it's probably not a good idea to listen to it. Maybe it is. Maybe my creative side or something like that. My shadow, my dark. Depending on discernment. So when I say putting space between your thoughts is a good idea, it really is. It makes us have a little bit of space to make better decisions for maybe the way we eat. Subside yourself with smoking that cigarette so close to the other one. Maybe put a little space in between those so you can quit because you want to. Because anybody can quit when they want to, right? But if you want to quit, why don't you just do that? The choices. What if you just don't give yourself choices? Peace. Oh, but then that yearning for the physical reaction of having a cigarette after, not having one around. We'll observe that too. Stop being a wuss and look at it. Write it down if you need to. Make it more concrete. Read it. And reject it. Because it's not you. It's a fucking illusion. But that peace I found, I was like, man, that's where all love originates from, is just like that. It's just our minds take that energy, project it on other people, and expect the same thing or result, right? If we're at peace with ourselves, we're able to tell right from wrong instead of using our ego, because we want some type of gratification for our choices, because we think we deserve these good outcomes, or wealth, or whatever it is that you are currently obsessing over. Be at peace.